In this episode, we show you our journey where we depart Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans, make our way through the Wrigley's, out to the Gulf of Mexico, and all the way down to Key West. So after our first night here in Lake Pontchartrain, the next morning we got up early, tried to make some ground, and we made it all the way down through here, and we ended up anchoring on a little island just out here with Jen and John. After having our alternator issues, the next morning, we had a very late start after fixing the problem. We decided we were going to do an overnight sail, our first one, all the way to Destin. That's where we picked up the dinghy. After Destin, we made it down south, got out to the bombing range, which we weren't sure allowed to be in, and we're in open ocean. This was a 2-day crossing. We made our way down here, pushed head on into the breeze, got up high on it so that when we had to head south, we'd have a nice favourable breeze. So after about 4 days at sea, we made it down outside Tampa. Originally our plan was to stop there, but we decided to keep on moving as we were making good ground with the weather. When we got down to Fort Myers, this is where we got boarded by the Coast Guard. After being boarded by the Coast Guard, we had no reason to stop. They were happy with our paperwork, we kept on going. Our destination, right down the bottom here, is Key West. All we ended up doing was coming inshore, pushing high on the breeze so that when the time came, we could drop off the breeze and it would push us all the way down to Key West. Beautiful sailing through here until we got about 30 miles out from Key West, and we had encountered a lot of thunderstorms. And that is when you start to worry about getting hit by lightning. Just been to the supermarket again, got a whole heap of extra stores and getting 10 to 12 of everything. I woke up this morning aiming to get the bilge pumps working before lunch and then get the solar panels bolted down. But I lied to myself and I have achieved nothing. And it's 1 o'clock and nothing has been achieved. And I'm not frustrated at all. Look at that, babe. Bit of homemade.
You haven't tried yet, babe.
Bit of flatbread. Now it may have taken me almost 11 hours, but we now have a couple of decks bodies. And if we whack on our other ones, we have some light for our mast. All the way we can check out our sail, our rigging, whatever we got to do. Well, the Len's just finally put her university degree into work, and we have our forward stores organised. We have labelled everything on the lid so that when the water touches it, we don't have to lose it. And everything's been accounted for. She's also made a paper inventory, which we're going to tune up a little bit, and that shows us what we've got left. After having our sails repaired at the local sail maker, we finally got them back and decided to take our friends out on a sunset cruise. They brought some appetizers and we hit the water with a whole bunch of friends. We're having our last sail before departing tomorrow morning. It has been an absolute long time coming, and we are stoked to be getting out of here. And we have got shopping everywhere, all across the galley, and Eleni's dying down here. She just wants to go to bed. We've been flat out now for 3 months and she's ready to go to bed because we've had enough. But unfortunately, she's just provisioning our stores for us for tomorrow when we depart. And that's it, we're out of here. 2:20 in the afternoon. Got the city in the background. We've got 4.2 knots of wind. We've got the motors on. We've got about a 3.5 hour sail, or motor sail to Slidell. We're going to go and try get through the 2 bridges this afternoon. Rightio, this is our first bridge on the way departing New Orleans. We've just radioed the highway bridge and they're opened it for us. My side's clear, mate. Yeah. With only 7 days remaining until our visa runs out, we anchored up for the night, ready for a big day tomorrow.
Homemade prosciutto.
We made our own prosciutto. It's pork prosciutto, and we've salted it, brined it, and dried it out, and it's pretty tasty.
Okay, so we are leaving right now from our first night, and we do of some little issues. The anchor winch, it's broken. The tap, it's blocked. And we got alarm going on in the engine compartment. So Abel is down there at the moment and trying to figure out. So yeah, it's where we at.
We came across a bridge and we weren't quite sure if we would fit underneath. With a little bit of homework, we realised no problem. 6 feet. With our escape hatch leaking, we got MacGyver onto the job. We're motor sailing at the moment, pretty light winds, and we're just about to exit the Wrigley's and very soon to be in the Gulf of Mexico. Just looking for John and Jen, our friends from New Orleans, and they're meeting us out here for the night. We're going to anchor up, cook up a barbecue, and then we're going to keep moving in the morning. The water's still green, but it's better than brown. And then hopefully tomorrow it's going to be blue. And then we'll meet and rendezvous with the guy that we're going to buy the dinghy off. And then we'll have our new dinghy sorted. After getting to the Gulf of Mexico, we anchored up with John and Jen, our great friends from New Orleans. Not actually 100% sure, but we think maybe on the sail drive there's two like diaphragms that go around to stop the water ingress. So it's obviously the sleeve that the leg sits in. And their alarm went off on the port side, and we think that maybe the outer one has a small leak or a slit or a crack, whatever it might be, and the alarm's going off. Luckily for us, the Yanmars and the Volvos have two. They have an inner and an outer skin, so it looks like our outer might have failed and our outer skin is still good, but the alarm's letting us know that's what's going on. When you think that you can't have anything else happen, some super glue. Do we have any super glue? Because we're in the middle of nowhere. With our spares department fully stocked, we swapped them out and got back on the road. In the open ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, and we have lost sight of land and we're pretty darn happy about it. We've got about 11 knots on the beam, and Lenny is having a really big crash course on how to drive the vessel, use autopilot, adjust course, etc. She's doing a really good job. It's a lot to take in, and we have a fishing rod out the back. Finally, a fishing rod out the back after 3 months.
Well, didn't take you long to catch a fish, babe.
We've just made it to Destin. We've just been through the night, and everyone's been on watch and taking turns, and we're all buggered. But we made it to Destin, so we're in Florida, and we're getting closer to where we need to be. And we're picking up a dinghy today. I found it on Craigslist, and we'll see what it's like.
So we're looking for Jimmy Cornell's, right?
Jimmy Cornell's what?
His restaurant.
What's he got on here? That's right.
Right next to the fuel dock.
We find the guy with the dinghy, do the deal, and get back on the road.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough.
We're doing a bit of a roast dinner on the boat.
I am.
New country from Daniel Bradbury.
It's pretty warm, but
The roast pork, we've got roast stuffed potatoes, onions, garlic. We are absolutely starving on this boat.
okay. So I've been on watch for like 2 hours now. It's 12:20.
It's just on 6 o'clock in the morning. It's Thursday. I think we left on a Sunday. We've done almost 300 miles. We've got a little lure out the back. We've run a lure 2 days, one late afternoon and another one for half a day, and so far we've caught 2 tuna. Just enough for a quick feed and a bit of variation in the diet, so that's nice, and I'm hoping for a dolphin fish. Well, it's not a dolphin fish, but a nice pot of dolphins joined us for the ride.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh,
We had the starboard side engine. Do a little drama. What's up, people?
I opened up the hatch from the front side bedroom, from where you're looking, and I noticed the alternator belt had snapped. So now we've got 2 alternator belts snapped in 48 hours. Obviously they're old and they've been sitting there doing nothing. So we've got this one here is our spare. It's got to go back on now. We're not sure if we're supposed to be here or not, but we went straight through the middle of a missile test area. No one came to bother us, so we kept on sailing. What are you eating?
Chocolate. In case they start to bombing us.
Oh, okay. Don't want to have any lunch, but happy to eat chocolate. I see.
Internet tricks.
That's it.
Hot flooding.
How to find internet offshore. We just tied the mobile phone on the spinnaker halyard and thrown it up the top of the mast, and we're going to see if we can hotspot off it. We can't see land too far offshore to get mobile reception, so we've increased our range by increasing the height. We'll see how we go.
Oh.
There's a little fish there. And Ripper got ourselves a dinghy dive float. You?
He's just walking his fish.
We know they're not very good for eating, so we pulled him out, got a photo, and put him straight back. What have you whipped up for us, Chef?
Some beef patties with sweet potatoes and potatoes mash. Some mushroom and corn, homemade bread with garlic butter and some
Lovely. Broccoli.
broccoli.
And they're even starting to sound like sailors.
Oh yeah. While cruising past Fort Myers, we got boarded by the Coast Guard. They checked our documents, everything was fine, and we were back on our way.
Morning.
Last night we encountered a fairly decent storm. We had 27 knots of wind, and we had to deal with it in the middle of the night. Wasn't that pleasant. Got the job done, pushed through the weather, and it's just eased off now. We had a good 6 or 7 hours, maybe 8 hours of rubbish, and we just punched through it all night long. And we got Tampa about 20 miles over here, and we're just going to keep heading down the coast this way, which gets us down to Key West. And after 3 months of solid work getting Añejo ready to go, we made it. Key West, with 1 day to spare. We've done over 800 nautical miles to make it to Key West. And don't forget, if you enjoy watching our videos, jump over to patreon.com and help support the cause. Join us next week, where we arrive in Key West. We show you the local sites, get our visas stamped, and depart for the Bahamas. Big thanks to all our YouTube subscribers, Instagram followers, and of course our patrons. We cannot thank you enough. If you too would like to support us, head over to patreon.com and search Taking the Chance.